Okay, we made it out. Now, we just gotta go across the road and go back into the town, and we'll be A-okay.
What about the shed?
No, don't worry about the shed. They're inside. Let's go straight to the town, and we'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Let's go to the shed. Even though we could have clearly just escaped right there.
Alright, you go first.
Oh, crap. I should have went down the road. What is going on, everybody? It is your boy, a man, Stokesy Camel. I'm back at it with another review. And yesterday I was able to check out The Strangers Chapter 1 in theaters. So, but before we get to actual beginning of the video, what's up, guys? Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel, because number one, it's absolutely free. Number two, we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Just, let me do the math here. 284 away now. Really help out your boy if you did subscribe. And I'll also maybe help with the YouTube algorithm, recommend video to more people. Maybe they could join. That sucks. But before we get into actual beginning of the review itself, let's give a quick plot synopsis, shall we? So transition on, choose. After their car breaks down in an eerie small town, a young couple is forced to spend the night in a remote cabin. Panic ensues as they are terrorized by three masked strangers who strike with no mercy and seemingly no motive. Alright, so my history with The Strangers is I've only ever seen the first movie, and I think the first movie, I thought originally it was okay. It's just, I didn't like the character decisions that they had with that. I think those were easily probably one of the most, stupidest horror movie characters ever. But when I heard that they were making I don't know if these are prequels or reboots. I'm pretty sure they were reboots. But when I heard they were making a new Strangers franchise and all three of them were coming out in the same year, I was going that's a little bit odd that they would release them all the same year, but okay, let's see how this goes. And if you guys are wondering what I thought about Strangers Pray at Night, I never saw Strangers Pray at Night. But walking into this one, when I saw the first trailer, I thought it looked like the exact same movie as the original one. And walking into this one, I heard that was the exact same thing as the original one. So I went in optimistic, hoping for a good time for the movies, and let's see where I landed. So, starting off with the positives for Strangers Chapter 1, and also I would just like to point out, I am doing this with no, paper in hands, which I usually do for my movie reviews, so I got no paper in hand. But, starting off with the positives, I will say that there's a new sequence in the movie that I won't spoil here, but there's at least one sequence that they added that was completely different from the first one that I actually thought was a pretty tense scene. However, they totally spoiled it on their Instagram, by the way. That's the only positive I can really say. Now we move on to the mix. So the mix is a little bit odd. So I have the performances by the two leads, because I think generally there's good moments where they show off their dramatic acting chops, But
most of the dialogue they are given to read is mostly crap every single time, with the exception of some lines here and there. So you don't know what to feel about these characters anymore.
speaking of, well, why don't we go straight to the negatives for this movie? The characters, I think, are the stupidest characters among any sort of horror movie, honestly. I think they're even stupider than the people in the first film, because in the first film, you can kind of justify them, like, a little bit after watching this one, because, okay, they're having a troubled proposal gone wrong. This one, they're a couple that have been dating for 5 years and basically haven't got married yet. And basically, they do the stupidest stuff. I'll probably do a spoiler review tomorrow to talk about all the stupid things they do. There is probably only one moment I can think of where they were actually quite smart. Well, one of them anyways. But it's just, all the stuff they do. All this. And if you've seen the trailer, there's a sequence in there, that's all I'll say, that is in the movie that is stupid, and they stretch it out. Also, I said this in my short, this is the same exact movie as the original one, which the original one I thought was okay, but after watching this one, I think it's fine now, because this one literally takes the plot beat for beat, doing the same exact thing. Not, like, the only thing that it changes is there's one act in the movie that they change up, and also the two characters don't have a failed proposal. So, and that totally makes the emotional weight of the first one less hardening, because, well, it makes it, and how do I say this? It makes the movie from the first one feel more important, because that dynamic they had with the failed proposal. This one, they just been dating for 5 years and there nothing happened. Then also, I forgot to mention for other positives too. Like, I thought the killers were cool, but I wish we saw more of them, which they used them not really a whole lot in this movie. Also, this is rated R, folks, and you want to know what I personally felt about the R rating? This is not, besides there having been 15 F-bombs, the gore here, there's no gore, there's no carnage candy for any of us horror fans. It is all cutaway. It might as well be PG-13 kills at this point, because I've seen PG-13 horror movies that have way more better kills than this, and most of them is cutaway and very disappointing. Also, I'm trying to think of any other stuff I can rant about. The characters, I don't know, I just didn't really connect with them, to be honest, because of how stupid they were. The cliffhanger ending is just, it was just very, what? And then also there's a post-credit scene that is like, really? That's what we're adding later on in the story? Oh my gosh. I'm probably thinking this is probably the worst one. The dialogue. The dialogue in here is absolute hot garbage. And even
in the trailer, the dialogue felt iffy. This movie was marketed as How the Strangers Became the Strangers, and they do jack crap with that. But anyways, dialogue bad.
going into the movie, I felt optimistic and going like, okay, maybe the dialogue isn't going to be that bad, and it is pretty bad. Probably it gives a run for Madam Web for worst dialogue in a movie this year. I will admit, this might have I think it might be rewatchable in the future, but there's one line in here of dialogue and the acting during that scene that's pretty hilarious. I'm not gonna lie. Again, probably talk about it in my spoiler review tomorrow, but that line had me in the theater dying laughing because it was so funny. trying to think of any other stuff. Yeah, just this movie, for a start to a trilogy, is not a phenomenal start. This is probably guaranteed to be in my top, but no, not top 10, not even close. Probably bottom 10 of last year, unless at the end of this year, unless if we get some terrible movies straight up that don't even come close to Strangers Chapter 1. But people are gonna ask, is it as bad as like Madam Web and Megamind 2? Megamind 2, I would say is still the worst movie of the year, because that one, at least, I had no positive things to say. As for Madam Web, I think this one's a little bit better, and also it's well shot. I will admit, I think it's better well shot than Madam Web, but I don't know. They're both equally as bad in my opinion. And for those who are wondering if I ever watched Tarot, which most people have been crapping on, no, I was not able to see that one. But basically, simple as this, before I get into my toxic meta ranking of the movie, George Lopez said it best. This movie is...
It's the same shit. The same shit.
With that being said, let's bring out the toxic meta. And for those who are... what else do I have to say? Toxic trash. It might be watchably bad in the future, but my goodness, was this not good. But with that being said, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this toxic movie review of The Strangers Chapter 1. Be sure to let me know your thoughts on The Strangers 1 down below. I'm at Strangers Chapter 1 down below. Did you enjoy it? Maybe did you have a fun, bad time watching this, or did you actually think it was good? Let me all know all that down below. And with that being said, guys, I'll see y'all next one, everybody. Peace.